You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Are you ready to learn the 3 secrets to launching a successful podcast? Hi, I'm Bill, a recent client of the Podcast Mogul. If you've been thinking about starting a podcast but aren't sure where to begin, he's got you covered. He is hosting a free webinar where he will share the 3 secrets that can help you launch, grow, and monetize your podcast without any fancy equipment or technical headaches. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot now and let him help get your podcast off the ground.
Welcome to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. Join the Podcast Mogul Phil Better as he interviews successful entrepreneurs that make their living in the digital world. Now, let's join your host, Phil Better, and his special guest today on Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. Brought to you, as always, by myself, the Podcast Mogul Phil Better. Today, our guest is a SaaS founder and business consultant specializing in operations and process optimization. With over 8 years of experience in e-commerce and various challenges, including running a fulfillment center in China and launching our own software, TrackMage. TrackMage allows e-commerce stores to increase their sales by 5 to 10% by simplifying the customer experience. With the platform, customers can track their products and the system handles upsells automatically following up for reviews. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Irina, I'm going to mess this up, but Poddubnaia to the show. I got it right. She's giving me the thumbs up. It was relative. We had this conversation before. She said that even Google messes it up and finds it somehow when you just use ask them a call. So, Irina, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me here, Phil. And you nailed it. Like this surname is a tongue twister, so I understand. That's why I usually sign my emails with like Irina P and dot. That's it.
Just to save people. And then all of a sudden they get this call from it and they see this long last name. They're like, who is this? I don't know this person.
Possibly.
But Irina, first of all, thank you for being on the show. I gave you this nice little intro, but it doesn't really. Would you care to just quickly introduce yourself to my audience and let us know a bit about you?
All right. So I'm an entrepreneur from Bulgaria, and this is not my first business, not even the second. It's the third or fourth attempt. Like I started literally from going to China to find some awesome suppliers and some edge, and I didn't find them. So the thing is, I found the suppliers, but I didn't find something that makes the business actually tick. And through trial and error, we discovered that it's customers and sales. And so from that...
Would have thought.
Who would have thought? Because we thought that like if you find the best product with the best margin from the best suppliers, that's going to make your business thrive. Apparently not. So that's the thing that we learned from this adventure in China, where we literally moved there, lived there for 2.5 years, fulfilled e-commerce orders and helped e-commerce entrepreneurs all over the world buy products from China. So that's what we did. But then like that endeavor ended and we were left with a system that we developed for that business. So when we were not physically there, the business couldn't exist. So that's when we thought that how do we make like lemonade out of those lemons that we are left with? So that's how we started this software called TrackMage. So it helps with all the things that happen after the purchase. So from a customer standpoint, it's like this. So remember how on Amazon, when you order a product, they show you the page where you see like what time the product is coming to your doorstep, where is it now, and after the product gets delivered, they also ask you for a review. So that functionality is only available on Amazon, but we made it available outside of Amazon on other platforms like Shopify, WooCommerce, ClickFunnels, and other software tools that don't have anything for order management or fulfillment or like post-purchase customer experience. That's exactly what the tool actually does. Usually when I explain it to people, they say like, oh, you found such a niche market. Like, it's not niche. It's like this big industry, you know, like the post-purchase customer experience is like big
niche.
industry.
Like it's niche because it's a very segmented group. But the population inside of it, the market inside of it is ginormous because it's every business needs this. Like if Amazon's using it, it's obviously a great tool, right? Amazon has it. Most things Amazon does, they're doing it for a reason and it makes money. So if you go, this makes money for entrepreneurs, Amazon has it, why doesn't everybody else? You were the first to market. It is a niche. It's a niche thing to go into, but it's a market that's blue. It's a blue ocean of a market.
I wouldn't say that. Like we've got quite a lot of competitors. So what I would say is that even if it's niche, it still fills this need of entrepreneurs. So every e-commerce business, whenever they are starting, they are dealing with the same challenges that we dealt with in China. When we were ordering the goods, when we had to keep track of all the shipments, we had to keep track of all the suppliers. We needed to make sure that everything gets delivered on time, that the customers are happy, and that basically everything clicks in the business. So we thought that it will be beneficial to provide this functionality to everyone who is starting their business or they are already running their business and they want to optimize their process. So that's how it got started. So, but the thing is, your question, the initial one, was about the 9 to 5 and like how I transitioned.
Yeah, like what made you transition into the like deciding, hey, let's uproot our lives in Bulgaria or wherever you were living to go over to China, which I'm going to say is probably a giant culture shock. Not knowing much about Bulgaria, but knowing a little bit about China and how they don't speak Bulgarian.
They don't speak English either, but so like only like a very small bit of population actually speaks English, so that we can converse and solve problems. So like with this movement to China, I believe it was just this call for adventure, because at some point in my life, like it was just mundane routine work, just like going to the office, catering to the like whimsical boss, and then just making sure that I stay on the payroll. That was the life, and I felt trapped. I felt like it wasn't something that I really would feel proud of if I told like, okay, for the last 10 years, that's what I did. I was selling frozen berries in bulk. Like, great. Like I'm the best seller, the best salesperson for frozen berries. That didn't resonate with my like life mission or something. So
it's a very niche life mission to be the best frozen berry sales, and obviously kudos to anybody whose dream is that, but I can understand that not being everyone's dream.
Right. So at that point, I was feeling that I needed something where I could shine, something where I could express myself. And for some reason, I thought that it could be through starting my own big company. I thought that I'm going to create something like a competitor to AliExpress, which was like a very underestimated project, I believe, because we thought that it's going to be easy. Well, we did make money. We did understand how all the processes work. But then again, it wasn't quite what we expected. And at that point in time, we didn't know a lot about marketing. We didn't know about anything about venture funding. We didn't know like literally anything besides the thing that we can move to China and figure it out on the spot. That's what we knew. Right.
Okay. Go ahead.
So
Sorry.
Well, I wouldn't say that I have anything specifically to add. It's just that sometimes it just takes that leap of faith to start the entrepreneurial journey, and you don't have to go to China to start that. You need to research. You need to understand who is resonate. Like, what kind of customer do you want to serve? Because the thing that we didn't understand is that the customer is the king in that business. And in any business, in like on planet Earth, I believe, because without customers, the business doesn't exist. And if we choose the customers wisely, and life becomes this joyous, this joyous endeavor, where you just like you do what you love. But if we choose customers unwisely, like again, I think there was this saying like never work with morons or like never work with a-holes.
If that's not a saying, it is now. That's going to be the tagline of this episode. Don't work with morons.
Right. So the thing is, if you choose customers that are draining you and you don't really enjoy working with, that's going to spoil the business. And sometimes even in established businesses, you could still find those like 20%, like 80%, where like the 80% of customers are normal. And then you have those like 20% of outliers. If you just fire those customers, you will be better off. So it's just that thing that you could do if you want to optimize the business and optimize your life, because after those customers are gone, you will be at peace finally.
I love you're reiterating something from a previous podcast. Like one of my guests said that one of the benefits of having your own business or being a digital entrepreneur is you can fire your clients versus being fired. Because when you're working for a company, you're at the mercy of the company. If you mess up, you can get fired. However, when you're working with clients, if they annoy you, you can fire them. And you have a happier life. Like you said, like you get rid of that 20% that's giving you issues. Your life increases by 80% because you don't have that hassle. You don't have to deal with the constant emails and all that. So I think it's I love hearing a reiteration of the fact from a previous guest with other guests, because it just cements that like, hey, this is true. You can get rid of clients you don't want to.
Yeah. Just one note on that. Still fulfill all your obligations for the customer. Like, don't just fire them. Like, okay, I took your money, but I didn't do what you wanted, and then I'm just firing you. Like, that's scam. Like, don't do that. Like, please.
Either
please.
refund them the money refund them, or finalize the contract and then don't hire them again.
Because again, people could misunderstand. So like, oh yeah, I'm so good. This is great business. Like, I find customers, they pay me money, and then I don't do anything. I fire them.
I just fire them afterwards, and then the Better Business Bureau is knocking at your door, and you have a whole bunch of lawyers coming to asking for money. Were you always interested in being an entrepreneur, or was it just something that popped up because of an opportunity that just expressed itself?
I believe I was always conditioned by books because I read very atypical books when I was a child or a teenager. Because the thing is, like, I was reading about NLP, I was reading about sales, I was reading about all those corporate meetings, and like I cannot pinpoint specific books, but still, I was always interested in business, even though it almost sounded like a fairy tale. Like I was like, oh, there was this speaker who is traveling between between countries and cities, and he has business meetings. Like, wow, this sounds like a fairy tale. To some people, it's just like business as usual. Like they do it and they don't really enjoy it because it's draining, because we have to just travel a lot. With remote first environment, we don't have to do that anymore. But some people still do because they like it. So.
Not gonna lie, I do enjoy travel and getting to see the world, and thankfully after the events of 2020 slowly opening up and it's a little safer to travel, so I am looking for that. But I understand how when you're younger or you're not part of that world, you don't understand that world, and you start reading about it, it does sound like a fairy tale, because it's coming from books, and we know books usually hold those fairy tales, so it creates the world that we want to have. Was there a spark that caused you to move to China to start your entrepreneurial journey, or was it just the luck just opened up? Like something was like, hey, we have this opportunity, let's go. And it was like, yes, let's go.
I think I should blame social media for that, because at
Social
that
media,
point,
okay.
yes, because at that point, all the gurus on the internet, they were preaching, working with China, launching landing pages and just like selling Chinese products as the next big thing. Kind of like they were preaching NFTs not long time ago,
Yeah.
and then like AI. What is the next fad? Like I just don't know what is coming. But again, all those like Web3 experts are currently turning into AI experts, because like that's what they should be talking. But at that point, when I was looking, I was just picking up that message that we should work with China, and we took it one step further. We moved to China. So we shouldn't have done that, I think.
That's a bold, like I have to give you a lot of credit, because that's a huge thing to do in your life. Like moving to your neighboring country, that's fine, because it's like there is some similarities, you know, like you're not too far from home, but you move across the world.
Yes.
To be like, hey, let's try something. Like that is putting all your eggs in one basket, trusting in yourself, trusting in your partner that you guys can do that.
The
That
original
takes
idea was to do that travel living thing, where we travel, and but we kind of screwed up the entire idea, because we moved to China and we never traveled to any other country. Like after that, like it's just like China, then back to Bulgaria. That's it. Like travel
the
living
nomadic
didn't
life was
work
a
for
short
us, like,
trip for you guys.
yes.
Just
in terms of the timeline, it was like prolonged short.
Yeah, it was a prolonged short trip. So after the somewhat success you had in China, you moved back to Bulgaria. And was that when you started having the idea for TrackMage?
After our first business collapsed, we didn't want to start another business. We just wanted to work. And for the next 4 years or so, we just diligently worked every day. That was before COVID. That was before anything remote was mainstream. So we were working through Upwork as freelancers. So at that point, I started because, for me, the concept of remote work was quite foreign. My partner is a software developer, and he always worked online. He always worked remotely. But for me, I used to sell frozen berries. I used to work in an office. It was very foreign. So at that point, when I was left without any ties or anything that held me in place, and I didn't want to start another business or a job that's going to tie me to a specific location, because that was the mistake we made in China. We tied ourselves to those warehouses, and if we left, the business was no longer there. So that's what we wanted to do differently. So that's why we started freelancing online. And I started from learning JavaScript, trying to become a software developer. It didn't work out at all. Because it literally looked like this. I went to Upwork and I started scrolling through the job postings. At first, I was saying okay, project management, that's easy. Let's just keep scrolling. Oh, JavaScript, yeah, I need to learn JavaScript. And I just tried to break my brain a little bit. And after that, it just turned out that it was much easier for me to just do what I was able to do. I started from $15 per hour. Actually, no. Wait a second. My husband started from $15 per hour, and he worked as a software developer. And he said, yeah, this is the limit. Nah, okay. Wait. Yeah. I just said, okay, no matter what, I'm starting from 25. And I found a job. First one was a fixed price. I set up a WordPress website with the help of the software developer next door.
I'll just here, honey, do this for me. I need you to fix this for me. Thank you. Okay.
Here, that was the start of this project manager. That was the start, the beginning. Yeah. So after that endeavor, and it was quite draining project, because it's literally they paid $300 for a website, and I had to do everything. I didn't know how underpriced that offering was at that point. It was literally for nothing. And I spent maybe 2 months creating that website from learning everything in the process. That was the first try. But after that, I found another job and another job and another job. And my rate went something like this. Like I started from 25, then I went to 45, then I went to 95, and then I went to 125. Just because I told myself, so like every time I'm going to find the next contract, it needs to be more expensive than the previous one. And that's how I started. And for the next 4 years, we were just we were not ready to start another business, because after the first failure and after the first disenchantment in our abilities to make something that works, we wanted to just work at the job, earn a salary, and that was it. But at some point in May 2018, I remember the dates just because it's somewhere on my LinkedIn profile. So yes, so on May 2018, we thought that like, great, but how about we start a software as a service? And we were mulling over this idea to start it, and we did. We started. And the first team that we gathered, they were all from those projects that I worked on. Because the project ends, but talented developers, we don't. And I knew all the talented developers that I could bring on the team. So the first team was just gathered from those previous engagements with the clients, where I already knew that those guys, they knew how to code and they were legit. Well, yeah, and that escalated from there on, because we set up all the website, we set our funnel, we set up our automation. Like again, with automation, how many different tools? Because we had the choice between open source solutions and closed source solutions, but those that were paid, and we always chose open source, which created a lot of overhead on the team because we had to support those open source. So if you are not very tech savvy, it's probably better to just pay the price for the software, because like hiring a software developer, you need to know what you're doing. And you need to know how much those guys charge, because some software developers, they cost, they cost a lot of money.
They can start at $15 and they can go all the way up to a couple $1,000.
Of course.
So you're developing this team, the first interaction of your next business. And I take it this is TrackMage. Like you're slowly building out TrackMage to where it is today. In this journey, building TrackMage, becoming a SaaS founder, pretty much rewriting the script that you were told from a young age, where you had to work in an office, do the 9 to 5, and now you're over here, like you dabbled in the entrepreneurial, you got burnt, which most entrepreneurs do end up having, and then you decide to freelance, so you start doing that, and you realize that there is some freedom, and then you decide to start your next business. In that journey, is there a moment that just solidified that, yeah, I enjoy this freedom?
Yes, there was. So to be honest, like my tastes are quite weird when it comes to content. So I like some animation, and I mostly scroll through comic strips and animation. And I was a fan of this show called Metal Family, where they created the cartoon themselves. Like they were, again, the outliers. They didn't take any funding. They were not part of any studio, which is probably good, because have you heard what Netflix is doing with all the shows that they produce? They're just kind of like they're throwing them away.
Yeah,
and,
they're just...
Yeah, and the creators, they cannot even post them because they belong to Netflix. They cannot. So, right. So the thing is, they were creating this show, and at some point, they posted a video complaining about the problems in their store, because their fandom was pestering them with one single question: where is my comic book? And at that point, I just look at this video and I'm like, oh, this is what I created TrackMage for. This is literally exactly what I created TrackMage for. And then I reached out to them through email. The first email, they didn't reply. In the next email, I just, I went overboard. The first email was the typical outreach email or something like that. And on the next email, I just said, like, guys, like, you can reject me. Like, yes, you can do whatever you want, but this solves this problem that you have, this problem. And I put like a screenshot from their show at the end of that email, and they replied. And then we worked with them for the next year. And what we did, we literally eliminated all the problems that they had in their post-purchase experience. So the customers, we were not getting emails because they misspelled the emails when they were doing the checkout. We fixed that. So there is a script now that checks if the email is spelled correctly, and actually checks not just the spelling, but also if we can deliver an email to that email address. So yeah, that's really good, because even if you don't have a physical products business, you can still use TrackMage just for that script. We kind of called it validately, but that that name was already taken. So we had to just say it's just like email validation script from TrackMage. So you can just put it on any field, and you can get rid of all the bounce rates. It literally goes to zero because all the emails are valid, and you can be 100% sure that your customer is going to receive that email. So we eliminated that problem for that business. The next thing we did, the customers, they were not picking up their packages when they reached the post office. That was a big problem because they had around 1,000 packages that were returning back to them, and they had to buy them again and then ship them again if they wanted to fulfill that order. So in that case, we implemented this. This is the core functionality of TrackMage. We were just sending them the post-purchase emails notifying okay, your package is at the post office, go pick it up. And that eliminated the problem of thousands of packages coming back. And current rolling average is 45 packs that are currently at the pickup point. And then just only a very small amount returns back. I think it's around 5 or 6 per month.
Going from thousands to 5 or 6 is insane. So that is an amazing memory to have, that just being able to help a company that you love, this comic book, this animation, this company that you're I adore them and I can help them. That is just cements what I love that. I
understood what kind of market I want to work with. I want to work with online creators. They are doing something incredible. I can stand behind that statement because at that point, even TrackMage was feeling mundane task because we were working with typical e-commerce businesses. It's not something is wrong with the typical e-commerce businesses. I love you guys. The thing is that I just felt that it was kind of getting boring. I wanted something more exciting. And then that's okay, great. You even they created an animated video describing the problem and scolding their fan base for misspelling the emails. Okay, TrackMage, guys, this is going to solve your problem. And then we also were able to create some great results that we were not expecting. It wasn't part of our problem. So the first thing we introduced was also they were not collecting reviews before at all. But from 10,000 packages that were shipped, we were able to bring 2,150 reviews. That's every fifth package or every fifth order, they left a review. And the reviews were War and Peace length statements, because everyone loves their show. And they wanted to express it through reviews. And that's what currently they have. And
those are the best testimonials. Best type of reviews, those long reviews, positive long reviews. People are going to spend time because those 2 short sentences that, oh, this was great. It's okay, yeah, obviously it's great, but why? And then you get these long reviews and it makes you trust it even more. It creates a trust, especially when I see someone spending the time to write, like you said, War and Peace for a review on this t-shirt. It shows that, one, the creators have created a culture of family. They respect their audience enough to put in their heart and soul to make it even better, to make sure that the quality that they're sending is good.
I cannot resist. They created a culture of metal family. Because it's literally the name of the show. So it wasn't just family, it was metal.
It's a metal family. It was the metal family.
Yes.
Now I really like the fact that you had this major kind of like failure that scared you off from entrepreneurship. Like you took a giant risk, you rolled the dice for 2 years. It kind of worked. And then it obviously, it ended up failing and putting a bad taste in your mouth. What tip would you have for people that they've jumped into the entrepreneurial space, they've gotten burnt because they're like, oh no, this is not for me? What tip do you have for them to try again? Because obviously the entrepreneurial bug rebit you and now you're ecstatic and you're doing amazing things. You're helping your favorite like web series make their business even better. What kind of tip do you have for someone that's been hurt by the entrepreneurial journey?
Well, I guess there isn't an easy answer to this question because everyone is different. So again, if you tried entrepreneurship and you think it's not for you, like, don't cross it off the list. Just keep it somewhere in the back of your mind, because whenever you have the opportunities open, you will always find a way. And at some point, you will just realize like, oh, this is the opportunity that I should grab. And by all means, this is the mistake that we made with the first business. Don't let go of your current income. Try to do it in parallel to your job. This way, you will be able to last longer, long enough so it takes off. That's exactly what is required in any business. From the outside, all the marketers, they are telling you the story of like, okay, like draw 2 circles and then draw the rest of the whole. So you have to like, when you get into the business, you understand why it's a business, because it's not easy. It's always not easy. Everyone is going to tell you like, it's just like this, that, and that. And then you do this and you understand like, okay, it's draining. Like I need to hire somebody. I need to train them to do this. Like they are failing. It doesn't work. You will have to persevere and just be there long enough so that it works. So it's all about resilience. It's all about trying again. It doesn't have to be like all or nothing. It can be just like a small side hustle that's going to keep going, and then it's going to replace your salary, and then you're going to start understanding like, oh, this is serious. This is business. I should probably pay more attention to that thing that's making money, because otherwise you are always struggling to survive. And a lot of people, I think, they also have this, I don't know, preconception that like, oh, I'm going to take a loan, or I'm going to take venture funding, and I'm going to spend other people's money on my idea. Well, that's fine. But again, you will still have to make money. You will still have to figure it out. And even if you take somebody else's funding to grow your project, it doesn't guarantee that you're going to make it in the entrepreneurial world. I understand that there is this startup culture where everyone is celebrating like how much funding they got. But like, they got funding, great. They were able to persuade some of those 5 people in the room that had a lot of money that they wanted to invest with the ability to lose it and forget about it. But again, it's not success. That business is not making money. It's just prolonging its existence at that point. So that's why I think the most important quality is just to try again and just to be resilient and take care of your own mental health. Because once you suffered with failure, you might understand that it wasn't your failure. Like it wasn't quite okay. Great. I just want to separate the two things. Like it was a failure, yes. It was your failure, yes. But it's not you who is a failure. So the failure just happened. It was this project didn't work out. This specific business didn't work out. It's fine. It's not you. You have infinite potential. You have infinite possibilities. You can try again. And this time it's going to be better. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be better. So that's the kind of mentality that you have to embrace. So yeah, we make mistakes. And sometimes we think that this is the end of the world, but it isn't. So as long as you're alive, you still have options.
My God, you just dropped like 18 pieces of advice on people. And I have to agree with you. I love the fact that you you mentioned, you specifically stopped and said you have to separate. It's, yeah, the business failed, but it's not your failure. It could be.
That's exactly the thing that I was trying to say. Like, it is your failure, yes, but the failure is not you.
It's the business that failed. You were part of that, but maybe it was because your skill sets weren't ready and you've learned so much. And now the next time, like whenever I hear someone says, oh, I took a loss, I'm like, no, you took a learning. Like you learned something. You got a lesson out of this because one, you learned, okay, maybe I'm not good at sales. But what am I good at? Oh, I'm good at creating the procedures. Like one of my colleagues that I work with, he's very good and detail oriented at creating procedures and SOPs and all that. Put him in a sales call and he doesn't know how to sell, right? And it's like, it's fine. I know how to sell. I grew up in the sales world because of my father, but I have no idea how to create SOPs. So we're like his business and my business, we work well together because I can handle the sales aspect for him and he can create the SOPs for the clients, or he can create my SOPs for my clients. And it's a synergetic thing. Like I learned when I first started that I'm not good at SOPs and all these organizational things. That's not who I am. So yes, my first business failed, but I learned so much. So you're not losing, you're not failing, you're learning, you're having lessons come out to you. And I love how you reiterated that with the fact that yes, the business may have failed and you may have taken that failure, but there's lessons there to. So I want to thank you for sharing that with my audience and reiterating that fact.
Yeah. And the thing is, sometimes we just do everything in our power to put our business on the hard mode. That's what we did with going to China, without speaking Chinese, without knowing anything about the country, without knowing whom we are going to sell to. Like, we didn't have any customers. We had to find them when we were already in China. Like,
I think you skipped a lot of modes. You didn't just go to hard mode. I think you went to extreme. And you're like, let's do the extreme version of entrepreneurship. Let's move completely to another culture, country, and not understand anything.
Yeah. I would have, I think it would have been harder if we moved to another planet. But that wasn't an option.
That's the next level. We're going to start a business on Mars. That's what we're going to do. We're going to be the first business owners on Mars. Let's see how hard that can. We're coming to the end of the episode, and I hate. So I'm going to get you the last question, which is the spark question from Seek Discomfort. And it's very interesting because it's with us recording with just starting of the new year. I'm pretty sure in the 5 days that we have had, you haven't made any crazy favorite memories. So I'm going to change this up. In the past year, so in last year, starting last year from January 2020 to December 31st, January 2022 to December 31st, 2022, what was your favorite memory?
With random questions, it's always challenging to come up with something on the spot. But I guess my most interesting memories are to how I changed my routines. Like literally, like I took improv comedy. I wasn't doing that before. I thought like it's fun, and I signed up for a course. Then the next one. Then I started singing. Then I started pole dancing. Me, like I know it. That's hard to believe. Like yes, and then it all just kind of fit. I still do everything that's needed for the business, but again, my life just became richer. It became more exciting,
enriched,
more fun. Yeah, right.
I love that. That's a great memory to have because last year you got to become more of yourself while focusing less on the business. That's an amazing accomplishment, a great memory to have. Seeing as we are coming to the end, I'm going to jump off the screen here. So I'm going to thank you again, Ira. I'm going to ask you. I'm just gonna say person now, because I'm never gonna get names right. But I'm gonna jump off the screen. I'm gonna allow you to let my audience know where they can find you, how they can follow you, and if they are in e-commerce or they're starting an e-commerce brand, how they can get TrackMage to help them out. So the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So, if you're just starting an e-commerce business, you probably will have some questions about like how it's set up. So I would first tell you one thing. You have the ability to start it, and you need to find the customers first. So start from something simple. Start from a TikTok account talking about your future product, or start from some social media account. Just do something that is going to bring customers in first, before we even know that they are your customers. They could be your followers at first, and then start selling something to that following. That's going to cut you some corners that we had to encounter when we moved to China without even knowing whom we are going to sell to. So then I believe this is going to already set you up with a good start, because you will understand like what people like, what people don't. But then once your sales start rolling in and you're already an established store with like hundreds of packages getting shipped out, that's when you need TrackMage. So you can come to our website, trackmage.com, and sign up. It's literally one click. You can integrate with Shopify, WooCommerce, and by that point, we might integrate with a lot more software tools. And that's how you get started with TrackMage. The thing is, what it's going to help you with is stop answering the "where is my order" question from the customers. Get extra sales from those customers, because they will be coming back to your store, not to UPS, FedEx, or DHL, or whatever carrier you have shipped the parcel to through. Right. And then you're going to be able to create this seamless post-purchase experience where they will be exposed to your brand all the time. When the customers were waiting for their orders, they check their shipment tracking pages 1 or 2 times per day. And especially if you are in the creator-based business, your fan base, they're going to be very passionate about getting that package finally from you. So that's when you have this ability to sell to them again. And that's what you can put on your tracking page. You can put your additional products on the tracking page, and those customers, they are going to be able to see them and buy them. That's what Amazon does. But on Amazon, you don't have the ability to only show your products. Amazon is showing everyone else's products. That's why it's probably better to start your own store where you don't have any competition out of the box. And in your own store, you control everything that happens to your customers, especially after the purchase. Because after a purchase, most of the e-commerce stores, they make this mistake. They leave the customer hanging. And the customers, when they are left in the dark about the whereabouts of a package, they sometimes refund, they pester customer support, they send you those emails where like, where is my order? And then you have to always cater to that demand. And if you fill that communication gap, you get all kinds of benefits like extra sales, goodwill, better customer experience, and better reviews as a result of this process. So sign up for TrackMage if you have an e-commerce business, or if you are just starting. Also sign up. We have a free tier where you can process up to 100 orders without any charges. So it's forever free. And if you are an already established business, welcome to TrackMage. We would love to help you.
Awesome. Irina, I want to thank you so much for being a guest on the show. I had so much fun talking with you. I did not know someone would be brave enough just to move their whole life to China to start a business and then come up with an amazing adventure from it. So I want to thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Thank you very much for having me here. And my story for me is just like business as usual. Like I don't see anything incredible there. But like when I look back, and yeah, it kind of sounds weird.
To my audience, as you know, in the show notes down below, you can find all the links to support Irina, TrackMage, and all that stuff. Please do go check it out if you're looking to start an e-commerce brand. It's a great place to start, and it's going to help you augment those sales. So do check it out. And again, always remember to invest in yourself.
Thanks for tuning in. Now it's time to take the next step. When you're ready to dive deeper into how to launch, grow, and monetize your podcast, Phil's got something special for you. Join him for a free webinar where he'll reveal the 3 secrets that have helped countless entrepreneurs succeed in podcasting. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot, and let's turn your podcasting dreams into reality.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.